Advertising Fundamentals. This is a comprehensive overview of the key advertising concepts every marketer should know. In today's agenda, we're going to be going over what is advertising spend slash cost, the impressions versus reach, what is a click, understanding CTR, aka click-through rate, what are good CTR benchmarks, what is a conversion, understanding conversion rate, what is a landing page, the importance of a landing page, what is a call to action, aka CTA, matching CTAs across ads and pages, and any key takeaways. So let's start this off with answering the question, what does cost and spend mean in advertising? And it's pretty simple. Cost and spend refers to how much money is being spent on ads. So it's essentially the amount of money or the amount paid for advertising, and is often related to budget set for advertising campaigns. So it's related to the budget set for advertising campaigns. Now, what are some of the key points that we have?
Hey guys, I hope that you're enjoying the course so far and that you're getting a lot of good, valuable information. I just want to let you know that I am coming out with a Skool community, and by the time that you're watching this, it might be already there. So if you look in the description of this video, you should be able to find the Skool link so that you can join. You can join the program for free, and it's just a good way to build community and also get access to all the free courses and the free resources that I'm offering within my Skool community. So highly encourage you to check that out. You will find a lot of value in that, I promise you. So if you're liking this content, please give it a thumbs up. It pushes it further in the algorithm, and if I'm doing good so far, go ahead and subscribe. Why not? But yeah, so I'm planning on dropping more courses. Depending on when you're watching this, I should already have a Google Ads boot camp, along with a Meta boot camp, aka pink print, blueprint, whatever. But all that should be already coming out. So make sure to check that out as well. And yeah, I'm also coming out with a PPC portfolio, basically teaching you how to build your portfolio, and how to add pay-per-click specific campaigns to that portfolio. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
Here, this will represent the total financial investment in advertising, which will directly impact the campaign's reach and potential outcome. And it is an important metric for calculating the return on investment, or ROI. Now, some of the common advertising cost models is some of the metrics that we look for is cost per click, CPA or CPC, excuse me, which is the cost per a ad click. We also have cost per milli, which is CPM. So that is the cost or the pay per 1,000 impressions. Then we have the cost per acquisition, also known as CPA, which is the pay per conversion. All of those metrics are very important when we are looking at the spend as well as the cost to know how effective our campaign is running, as well as if we are getting a good return on our investment. Now, what is impressions versus reach? What is the difference? Because a lot of people think that impressions is the same thing as reach, and they are not. So the biggest difference between them is impressions is anytime someone sees an ad, and one person can generate multiple impressions by seeing the ad multiple times, whereas reach is the number of unique people who see the ad. So reach is always less than or equal to the impressions. So we have a example here. So this eye represents like the impression, and this group of 3 people represents the reach. So we can have 5 people, right? 5 people it reached 5 people, but the impressions were 15, because let's say if these 5 people look at the ad 3 times, so every time they look at an ad, that's an impression, but it reached 5 people. So each person sees the ad 3 times on average. So that is what we call impression. So what is a click in digital advertising? Now, a click is pretty simple. It's whenever someone clicks on an ad, each click is counted. So if the person clicks the ad twice, then it would count as 2 clicks. All right. So some of the key points here is every individual click on an ad is counted separately. Clicks indicate user engagement and interest in the ad, and clicks are the foundation of the metrics like CTR and conversion rates. So the click interaction process, let's say the user sees the ad, the user clicks on the ad, and the click is recorded and the user is redirected to the landing page or whatever page is behind that link. All right. Excuse me. So, what does the click-through rate represent and how is it calculated? Well, the click-through rate is a percentage of the click-through rate is a percentage that shows how effective an ad is getting people to click. So it is calculated as clicks divided by impressions. Higher click-through rate means that the ad resonates better with the target audience. Okay. So why does this matter? Well, the click-through rate matters because it measures the ad's effectiveness and relevance, and if this affects the quality score and the ad cost. It also indicates alignment with the audience's interest. So that's why it's really, really important. And the CTR formula is clicks divided by impressions times 100% will give you the click-through rate. So when we look at the click-through rate comparison example, we have A, B, and C competition. Well, A has the most or has the highest click-through rate, which is 2%. B coming in second place with 1%, and then C coming in third place as 0.5%. So, what is a good CTR on Meta or paid social platforms in general, or paid search platforms as well? Because we have Google search right here. Well, how is the conversion rate calculated, and what is a typical good conversion rate? Well, conversion rate is calculated as the total conversion divided by clicks or users. So a typical good conversion rate is at least 1%. And you might be thinking, oh my God, 1% is bad. Well, you got to remember, it's the 80-20 rule, because 20% of your client is going to make up 80% of your profit. It just goes back to looking at the marketing funnel and things like that. It's just how it goes. It's really a numbers game. We will cover that in the marketing funnel section, but the click-through rate, a good click-through rate is going to be around 1 to maybe 1.5, maybe 2% is considered a good click-through rate. So what are some of the factors that are affecting the CTR? Well, again, ad relevancy to the target audience, the creative quality and visual appeal, the ad placement and format, the call to action, clarity and strength, as well as the industry and the vertical benchmarks. So Meta, for example, would have kind of the CTR by platforms, really, to give you like a kind of like a realistic example. Meta, Facebook would have a 1%, which is considered good. Well, 1% is considered good. Okay, excuse me. 1% is considered good because for Meta and really a lot of paid social platforms, people aren't going there to, ideally they're not going there to get their pipes unclogged or to get new carpet. They're going there to engage with family, friends, laugh at videos, share videos, write posts. They're not going, a lot of them just go there for entertainment, right? So 1% conversion is actually pretty good for Facebook. Now, Google, as you can see, a good benchmark is 1.91%. Google search, when we cover the paid area or the paid search module, you're going to notice that Google search is mainly focused on conversions, especially when it comes to responsive ads, and the way, like, where advertisers and clients care about the most is paid search, because we want to meet people when they're ready to buy. Okay, we want to be that ad that pops up when somebody is looking for a plumber late at night. Okay, so, and I'm just saying that because, let's say if you have a client that's a plumber or whatever the case may be, if you're working for a dog grooming, if you have a dog grooming client, then you want to be that ad that pops up, or you need to have that ad pop up whenever somebody is looking for a dog groomer. So 1.91. Display ads have been around for forever, and they don't really convert that well. I've already seen the numbers, and when we go into the reporting section and we run reports, I show you kind of a look over the shoulder. When I run reports, you're going to notice that the display ads are not that good. They suck. And the LinkedIn ads, they normally get like a 0.44%. That's a good benchmark, because that's more so for B2B and kind of like building awareness, but getting higher end clients. Okay. All right. Let me check my time. Okay. So, what is a conversion in advertising? Well, a conversion in advertising is pretty much a desired action taken by a user. So, such as making a purchase or submitting a lead form. It shows how effective the advertising is and how effective the advertising is at driving valuable action. So the whole entire point of us running ads is to get conversions. Okay. So some of the key points here is it represents the ultimate goal of most advertising campaigns. Different businesses define conversions differently based on their objective, and there is value. So this is very valuable for measuring the advertising return on investment, or ROI, in the campaign's success. So here are just the types of conversions that we have here. All right. Now, understanding conversion rate is super important. Very important to understand how conversion rate is calculated and what is a typical conversion rate percentage, a typically good conversion rate percentage. So again, we've kind of already went over this, but to reiterate, conversion rate is calculated as the total of conversions divided by clicks or the users. So a typical good conversion rate is at least 1%. So we want to shoot for at least 1%. This is going to vary widely across industries and campaign types. A small improvement in a conversion rate can significantly impact the return on investment. Okay, so we have the typical conversion rate benchmarks. All right, so what is a landing page and why is landing page so important? Well, it's important because a landing page is a significant page on the website that is tailored to a particular advertising campaign, and it guides users to take a clear next step, reducing confusion and improving the conversion rates. So sending users to a homepage instead of a landing page is not recommended, which, believe it or not, a lot of businesses do that. Like, you can always tell if somebody knows what they're doing when they're running ads based off of where they are sending people, like what landing page or what page they're sending people to. Because believe it or not, I've worked for a couple agencies, and the first ever agency that I worked for, I was doing an audit for a, what was it? I think it was like a auto parts company. And, the guy said that his son ran his marketing, his ads for him, ran his Google account, and that how his son was a marketer, this, that. And so when I did the audit, or no, even when I looked up the ad and, you know, I didn't click on the ad, but when I ended up doing I can just really tell by the ad, but when I ended up doing the audit, I was able to click on the final URL and it just went to the homepage. So going to the homepage is not ideal, and I'll tell you why, because the homepage has too many distractions. Okay, so there's a lot of benefits of having a specific landing page. So a landing page is a specific page on the website that is tailored to a particular advertising campaign. So some of the benefits of having a landing page is it is significantly or specifically designed for conversion goals. So it reduces distractions and bounce rates and it focuses users' attention. So, or visitors' attention. It also creates consistent messaging from the ad to the conversion, from the ad that they just saw to the conversion of the landing page. And it also enables better performance tracking and optimization. So again, a landing page versus a homepage. Homepage has too many distractions. So if you're ever doing an audit for a client and you notice that their ad is actually taking people to a homepage, that is probably the first thing that you should help them improve. Okay. So that is very, very important. You can even have a developer do it if you are not comfortable with working on somebody's website. Have them hire a developer because that can literally make and break their campaign. All right. So what is a call to action? A CTA. What is a CTA in advertising? Well, call to action is a short phrase. It's usually 2 to 4 words that tells the person or tells the user what action to take. So you see them all the time when you're on the internet, when you are driving past billboards, there's always some form of call to action. So some of the common examples of call to action is shop now, sign up, get started, learn more, buy now, download. And some of the key characteristics is a brief and action-oriented, typically about 2 to 4 words, like I said. It creates some form of urgency. So it encourages an immediate response. It also has a clear and direct language that guides users' behavior, and it is visually distinct and prominently displayed. So the call to action should be visible, distinct, and strategically placed to maximize the user's engagement and conversion rate. And why should the call to action and why should the call to action in an ad match the call to action on a landing page? Well, because matching the call to action in an ad and in a landing page reduces friction and confusion for users. So for the users, guys, you want to make it as simple as possible for them to shop now, download, whatever the case may be. You don't want any confusion because a confused mind doesn't buy. Okay? The more confused that they are, the more they're going to start standing in their own way. They're going to confuse themselves. It may make sense to you, but it might not make sense to them. So having consistency between your CTA and your ad and the landing page really reduces that friction. So why match CTAs and ads and landing page? Because you want to make it as clear as possible. Again, a confused mind doesn't buy. They never do. I can tell you that I did door-to-door sales, right? And I was able to make a lot of sales because I understood that concept. Sometimes less is more, and you don't want to say too much, you don't want to do too much, you want to be as clear as possible. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So what are some of the benefits of matching the call to actions? Again, it reduces friction in the user's journey. It creates a consistent brand experience. It sets a clear expectation for users, and it increases the conversion rates by reducing abandonment. So abandoned cart, bounce rate, so on and so forth. Bounce rate is the rate or how long people stay on the website. So if they're going to the website and they're clicking off of it instantly, that's not a good sign. For bounce rate, you want them to stay on that website for a little bit, like looking around, very engaged, interested. Over here, we have just the difference, with the ad as well as the landing page. But the ad shows, product features, call to action is shop now. The landing page has product details. Again, the call to action is shop now. So that does align with each other. What are some of the common CTA matching errors? I've seen ads say buy now, but the landing page will say sign up. That's inconsistent. Also, the ad sometimes promises a discount, but the landing page has the call to action as generic. So just little things like that. A consistent messaging from an ad to a landing page is what you're looking for. Last but not least, some of the key takeaways: that advertising spend, impressions, and clicks are the foundation of digital advertising. The percentage, click-through rate, and conversion rate really helps measure the effectiveness of your advertising campaigns, and the effective landing pages and CTAs are essential for strong results and a higher conversion rate. So, any questions, please drop them below. With that being said, guys, that is the foundation of digital advertising.